I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right?
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Ooh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water, pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers will spend an extra 2 days in New Orleans after beating the Pelicans on Sunday. The win assured the Lakers of the 8th spot in the play-in tournament. The Pelicans are 7th. The two teams will have a rematch Tuesday night in New Orleans to battle for the 7th seed in the Western Conference playoffs. If the Lakers lose Tuesday, they'll have one more chance to make the playoffs. They would play either Golden State or Sacramento on Friday. The Clippers will meet up with Dallas in the first round. Game 1 is Saturday at Crypto.com. The major concern for the Clippers is Kawhi Leonard's right knee. Leonard has missed the last 6 games. Scottie Scheffler won the Masters. He finished 11 under. Tiger Woods finished last among the 60 golfers that made the cut. Woods ended up 16 over 304, his worst performance in the 26 years he has played at the Masters. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley.
And I'm Captain Mayor Emma Sharif.
You have no doubt been hearing promos and expert conversations on our various weekday shows and downloading details at KBLA1580.com about our climate justice campaign, which is now in full effect.
The city of Compton is pleased to partner with KBLA Talk 1580 to celebrate Earth Day 2024 as we serve, share, and help our city shine.
And KBLA Talk 1580 is just as excited to join the city of Compton as we broadcast live and bring our KBLA delegation with us to help clean and beautify our community, and you are invited to join us.
Come meet us on Saturday, April the 20th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at 212 West Cypress Street in Compton as we fan out to clean up our city.
The first 50 KBLA listeners to hit our website at KBLA1580.com will receive a free KBLA tee when you join us on Saturday morning, April 20th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at 212 West Cypress Street in Compton. Now, no show, no shirt, but sign up at KBLA1580.com right now to help us clean up Compton as part of Earth Day 2024.
We will see you on Saturday, April the 20th, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at 212 West Cypress Street in the city of Compton to do our part for Earth Day 2024.
We are KBLA Talk 1580, caring about the climate, caring about the community, cleaning up Compton.
Man, I feel like money. Man, I feel like money. They attracted to me. Oh, yeah. They come around like honey. They come around like honey. Cause I fly like a bee. Oh, yeah. Man, I got them all buzzing. Back to back up in the mix like that. And I know you like it when it's just like that. Harder girlies just love my swag. From my kicks to the way I fix my hat. I'm back. Fresh like some new J's. Brody got next, NBA 2K, I'm 2K. Shaded with some ladies, reppin' my city. West LA, baby. West LA made me.
KBLA Talk 1580. Happy Tax Day. Feel like money. So we're being joined by someone who can help you with that, that money thing. She's a common sense advisor offering people control over their lives and their futures by showing us how to get control of our finances. She believes knowing how to manage our money is one of the most important life skills for people at every age and stage, and she's made it her mission to help simplify money matters. She's a senior advisor for Wealth Management Financial Advisors, and I'm talking about Marie Deary. Good morning.
Good morning, Dominique, and good morning, KBLA listeners.
Well, now, Marie Deary, I should have said, she went to UCLA, went to Stanford. She's got that MBA. but and I always say has saved more black people's houses than the fire department. But you also do taxes, wealth
Yes,
management. Yeah.
yes. And today is the big day. It's tax day. And over 19 million people going to be sending in their taxes or sending in an extension.
Right. So a lot of people wait till the last day. I mean, that's a thing, right? We procrastinate.
Yes, yes. We procrastinate, and here it is. But Dominique, what's beautiful about this is that Americans all over the world, regardless where you decided to take your retirement dollars and retire, today is the day. Today is the day that Uncle Sam says you have to file a 1040 and pay what you owe.
Okay,
So it's up to us.
why do we have to file an extension? Like if you don't have your taxes done by today and there's no way you're going to get it in, I think the deadline is midnight tonight that it would have to be postmarked by, right?
Right?
Which is why you see people standing in line at late night post offices. But if you can't get it done by today, why do you need to file an extension?
Well, you file an extension to give you time to file, not necessarily to give you time to pay what you owe. But if you don't owe anything, and you really, it's really hard to tell if you actually owe. So the best thing for everyone to do, if you have to file, is to get it in. And if for some reason you cannot file, you cannot get the paperwork all together, then you can file an extension, and that gives you until October 15th for you to file. So regardless if you in a situation where you think you don't owe any money, the best thing for you to do is to get an extension.
If we get an extension, that means we're in compliance with the law, meaning we're not breaking the law by not filing our taxes. But that doesn't mean that the clock isn't ticking on if you owe money, right?
Right. If you owe money, an extension to October 15 only gives you time to file. It does not give you time to pay what you owe. So if you know you're going to owe and how much you're going to owe, maybe you had to file estimated taxes, which is based on the previous year, then you have to pay what you owe. The extension only gives you time to file. It does not give you time to pay.
So that means if you file an extension and you don't pay what you owe, the fees, they charge interest and fees and all kinds of stuff, that starts piling up immediately.
Immediately, penalties and interest, and that can can go up really fast. In no time, you could owe the IRS. It's not going to go up beyond 25%, but you can avoid that.
But I mean, you can end up. You can end up, now, is that 25% a year? Because I remember when I owed money to the IRS, it seemed like every time I saw that statement, it was doubling. It's like you start out owing them $100, and by the time they're done with the fees and the interest, you owe them thousands of dollars.
That is true. That is true. It's how they calculate, and failure to file is one fee. A penalty on what you owe, and it keeps going up and up. So my advice for every taxpayer that's out there, you have to pay what you owe, and if you cannot pay, you have to file your taxes, and after you can make whatever arrangements you need to make with the IRS and to pay what you owe. But the IRS is not going to talk to you unless they have copies of your taxes. then they can work with you on some kind of arrangement. But they will not work with you if you do not have your taxes filed.
Okay, so you file, doesn't stop the clock, but it does allow you to make a payment arrangement as well. So the thing about, and I've been under a payment arrangement with the IRS, the thing about it is that, yes, you can pay a little bit at a time, but it's so hard to get caught up then because they keep adding on fees and they keep adding on interest even while you're paying off your little monthly payments.
Yeah, because most people pay the minimum, and the minimum does not even cover the interest and the penalties that you have to pay. So when you think you're paying down the balance, it's pretty much only penalties and interest you're paying, and the amount that you owe does not change. So this is why I recommend for my clients to take a look at your W-4 and make sure you are withholding the correct amount. Some people try to play games. They will probably go exempt for 6 months, and their intention is that after 6 months they go back to taking their deductions. But in a lot of cases, they forget. And guess what? At the end of the year, when you get ready to file your taxes, you say, "Oops, I owe, and I cannot pay."
Yikes!
Because you went exempt for 6 months in the year.
Right. Well, yeah, or people just put a whole bunch of deductions. But the thing about it is, I heard some experts saying, well, you should take as many deductions as you can because you don't want to let the government hold your money. A lot of folks like to get a tax refund. For me, I'd rather have a refund because I don't want to end up owing. I'd rather have them withhold a little bit more than they have to because I don't want to end up with that big bill.
This is why it's important for you to look at your W-4 once a year. Every year you take a look at how many are you claiming. Well, I used to be able to claim my son, but now I cannot claim my son anymore. So instead of having 3 deductions, now I only have 1. So you have to take a look at your W-4 and make sure you're withholding the correct amount because you do not want to give the IRS a loan at the end of the year. Because if you get in a big refund, it means that your W-4 is far from being accurate.
Right.
And you're giving the IRS a loan, and at the end of the year, guess what? They give you that money back, and they may give you a little interest on that money that you loaned them.
Well, okay, so for most people, if you look at your W-4 and you feel like, okay, I need to make adjustments, that's something you take up with your HR department, right? You take up with whoever the human resources person is at your job of putting in a new W-4 and changing your exemptions so that you're neither giving the IRS a giant loan or having a giant bill at the end of the year.
Right. You want to make sure that your withholdings are the correct amount. If you only have 2, that's how much you claim. You have 2 dependents, you have 3 dependents, that's how much you claim. You don't go claiming that you have 9 dependents and when it's ready.
Yeah. I mean, we laugh, but people do it,
people?
right? Yeah, people do it.
Yes.
I think that, one thing I learned from one of the seminars that I did with you, I think it was me, you, and Ricky Harris, may he rest in peace, was that the IRS, if you haven't filed your taxes in several years, maybe you're low income or maybe you're on a fixed income and you just feel like you don't have to because no one's bothering you about it, that's a dangerous position because the IRS can come in at any time and just garnish your wages. And this is the part I learned. I didn't know they could take money out of disability or Social Security or a pension.
Yes, they can. The IRS have a very long reach. If you owe the IRS money, wherever the IRS knows that the money is coming from, whether it is Social Security, whether it is a pension, they will take the money. They will take a certain percentage of that money. So, take for instance, if you owe them and you receive in Social Security, they may take up to 25% off every month.
And they're not going to give you any warning. They're just going to reach into your bank account and snatch that money out.
Yep. Yeah, all you will notice is that, oh, what happened to my Social Security check? It's less.
Right.
And they may call the Social Security office and when they look around say, oh, you got a lien against you.
Right. So it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter how long they've been leaving you alone, how long you've been so-called getting away with it. I want to talk a little bit about, how being in compliance might or might not protect us in that situation. I want to invite you to ask questions if you have a question about your return or your money, how to keep it right through this time and season that we're going through. Marie Deary is here, wealthmanagementlb.com if you want to follow along on the website. We are talking money on tax day on KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind, but new Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with new Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
It's been said that when someone you love has Parkinson's, you have Parkinson's.
The Parkinson's Foundation knows that the disease doesn't just affect the diagnosed. It affects everyone who supports and helps care for them.
If you have questions, the Parkinson's Foundation has answers.
We can help you understand the disease
and give you tips for living a better life.
Find your answers at parkinson.org or call 1-800-473-4636. The Parkinson's Foundation. Better lives together.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
I'm going out with the girls this weekend. Nails done, outfit stunner, and my skin, I know it's gonna be glowing because I glammed up my shower routine with new Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash. It smells so luxurious and moisturizes deep into my skin with its super rich, creamy lather that's bursting with vitamin B3. So my skin glows and my confidence grows. Try new Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash for glowing skin in just 14 days.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Marie Deary is with me this morning on this beautiful tax day. 800-920-1580 if you have a question or conversation. She's an expert on everything from personal finance, debt elimination management, retirement planning, mortgage options, and of course, taxes. So in this scenario where I am on a fixed income, maybe I'm living on Social Security or a pension, could be a person on disability, but I haven't been filing my taxes And I feel like, well, I haven't done it in a couple of years. This was my mom at one point. I remember this. So that means no one's going to catch me. No one's paying attention. And we established that that's not the truth. That can come at any time. Suddenly, boom, up to 25% of your check is gone without warning. If you filed, would it protect you? Like, even if you still owed money, would it protect you from being garnished?
Well, not really.
Oh.
Being in compliance, what it says is that you file your taxes every year, and you may or may not be able to pay. And at that point, if you're not able to pay, then you can have some kind of payment arrangements with the IRS. But you have to be in compliance before the IRS would consider a payment plan.
Okay.
So if you think you don't have a requirement to file, let's say if you are receiving only Social Security, you may not have a requirement to file, and you can probably call the IRS and find out if you have a requirement to file. And if you don't have to file.
Okay, so that for that person on Social Security or whatever, they have to file anyway. If they owe something from way back, they can then make a deal so that they can stop their check from being garnished. They can make some kind of payment plan. If they do not owe, then at least they'll be safe and protected. They wouldn't garnish you if you hadn't filed, if you didn't owe something, right? I mean, they would just keep sending you messages. So the most important thing, and you said some people don't have to file at all.
Right.
So who are those people? Who are those lucky people?
Well, it all depends on your income. If you're receiving only Social Security, you may not have a requirement to file. But if you are receiving Social Security and you get a retirement check from some job you had before, you will get a 1099-R. So if you get in any type of retirement, you're going to have to file.
Okay. So, I mean, it's worth doing it. I think, if your situation is pretty simple, it probably wouldn't be that complicated. So it sounds like Marie's having a little, maybe needs a small break here. I'm not sure, but I think that one of the things we've talked about a lot, especially during the pandemic, but even before that, was how a lot of us, who have Black-owned businesses are not in compliance. And then when different grants and opportunities come along, we are not eligible because we don't have our paperwork ducks in a row. Of course, the same thing can be said of personal taxes when it comes to like getting financial aid or applying for any kind of, assistance. You want to be up to date on your taxes, and these things can come out of nowhere and feel like a roadblock to you getting done what it is that you want to do. How far back are they gonna look? How far back do we need to worry about if there's something we haven't taken care of from the past, Marie?
Yes, that's a good question, Dominique. Now, the IRS can go back 10 years. If you owe the IRS any kind of money, there's something that's called sunset. So if you have a bill, let's say you owe $50,000 to the IRS for a particular year, the IRS will set a time when they consider that the amount that you owe is the sunset. So that might be if you owe $50,000, you may have up from this date, 10 years from now, to pay that bill. And if after 10 years you have not paid it, then the IRS will wipe that bill out. So that's called the sunset date. And so for a lot of people, especially self-employed, I cannot stress that enough. For self-employed people, if you are making money, it's very important that you file your taxes. A lot of people feel that, the IRS don't know. But take, for instance, if you work for my company, I may give you, let's say I paid you $15,000. But at the end of the year, I want some type of write-off on that $15,000 that I paid you. So I am going to file a 1099 with the IRS. So I'm telling the IRS I paid this person $15,000.
You're right.
So the IRS now have a record of you receiving $15,000. So you may think that this person paid you. They paid you by check, or they paid you by cash, and the IRS don't know. But the IRS depends on people like myself to report any type of income they have paid so that they know who they can expect money from.
Yeah. Let's go to Mikhail calling us from LA. Good morning, Mikhail.
How y'all doing today? I have a question for Maria. What was that program called after the COVID came and it was free money from the government? You know, it was a program after the COVID. People.
You talking about stimulus checks, or are you talking about the PPP loans?
The PPP.
PPP loan. Well, I'm the one. I paid you $500 to get it for me, and I never received nothing.
Well, if you did not receive anything, it means that your paperwork was not accepted by the IRS, because they are the ones who approve you whether or not to get the money. And if you did not get it, it means that for some reason your paperwork, your bank account, your something were not adding up, and you did not get the money.
Right. So I guess we're heading into news, traffic, and sports. We can continue on the other side. But when you pay someone to do an application like that for you, there's no guarantee that the government's automatically going to give you money. I guess that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, there is no guarantee. The PPP was not guaranteed. There are millions of people who got the PPP. Several clients that we have worked with during that time, they got anywhere between $25,000 and $50,000. But those are the ones that's qualified, and they were accepted. But again, it was not guaranteed, and we made sure that anyone who wanted us to put in the application on their behalf knew that it was not guaranteed.
All right,
but you're paying for a service.
We got news, traffic, and sports, and continuing our tax day conversation with Marie Deary on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Former President Trump is entering unprecedented territory. Trump will appear in person for the duration of his New York trial against the backdrop of a presidential campaign in which he's the presumptive Republican nominee. It makes him the first ex-president in U.S. history to face a court hearing on criminal charges. In Nashville, Tennessee, a gymnast from Fisk University is making history by winning a national title. Morgan Price became the first athlete from a historically black college or university to earn the all-around title at the USA Gymnastics Women's Collegiate National Championship over the weekend. Price was also named first-team All-American in the all-around event yesterday. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right?
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Ooh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers. If you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers will spend an extra 2 days in New Orleans after beating the Pelicans on Sunday. The win assured the Lakers of the 8th spot in the play-in tournament. The Pelicans are 7th. The two teams will have a rematch Tuesday night in New Orleans to battle for the 7th seed in the Western Conference playoffs. If the Lakers lose Tuesday, they'll have one more chance to make the playoffs. They would play either Golden State or Sacramento on Friday. The Clippers will meet up with Dallas in the first round. Game 1 is Saturday at Crypto.com. The major concern for the Clippers is Kawhi Leonard's right knee. Leonard has missed the last 6 games. Scottie Scheffler won the Masters. He finished 11 under. Tiger Woods finished last among the 60 golfers that made the cut. Woods ended up 16 over 304, his worst performance in the 26 years he has played at the Masters. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone, and should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Hi, this is Quentin.
And this is Brianna.
A little thing we love about Chick-fil-A chicken strips are how satisfying they are. The chicken strips are amazing. They're always filling, tender, and juicy. Definitely one of my favorite things on the menu.
My favorite thing is the last bite. The last bite is nice and juicy, and it's wrapped up in some crispy breading that keeps it nice and tasty. And being able to scoop up my Chick-fil-A sauce with it, it's just like the best part of the meal. It's an undefeated combo.
Order the chicken strips on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Are you wet shaving? You'll get razor bumps.
Nah, Pops. I'm good with Gillette Skin Guard. How long you been growing that beard Mama hates anyway?
Since 77. I shaved and got ingrown so bad.
That's why I use the Gillette Skin Guard razor, face scrub, shave gel, and moisturizer. So I don't have to worry about new razor bumps or shaving irritation.
Gillette Skin Guard, huh? Your mama's gonna love this one.
The best a man can get keeps getting better with Gillette Skin Guard. Buy now at a retailer near you.
When you use Bounce dryer sheets and your clothes look amazing, it's the sheet. Less static in your life? Yeah, it's the sheet. Smelling fresher than ever? It's the sheet. Oh, so soft fabric? Ooh la la. It's the sheet. Less wrinkles on your clothes? You know it's the sheet. Bounce dryer sheets. More freshness, more softness. Less static, less wrinkles. It's the sheet.
We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back indeed. So much going on around here. We're talking with Marie Deary She is a senior financial planner at Wealth Management Financial Advisors. We are talking taxes today, but you're welcome to call with any financial issues or questions. And I don't know if you had more to say to Mikhail. I think it's interesting that he wanted to call on the radio rather than calling you off the air. You know, whenever I think you guys handled a huge volume of people during the pandemic for the various loans and programs that were available.
It was an opportunity for small business owners to get money that was that they needed during that time, but like everything else, you had to make sure that your paperwork, your business had a footprint. And after a while, they were doing in-depth checking. And so a lot of small business owners did not qualify. Some of them had a legitimate business and others did not. So if you had a business and you don't file your taxes, when the IRS don't have any records of you owning a business. So there's a lot. This is why I say, keep your business, keep your business in line, keep your business active, keep your business in focus. File the necessary documents. Make sure your business have its own bank account. Things like that you can do to make sure that your business is legit.
Yeah, I think one of the things we as I was going to say black business owners, but I'm thinking people coming from low income backgrounds who start businesses probably have this tendency, whether they're black or otherwise, which is to minimize, we don't want to have to pay taxes, so we want to report the least that we have to. Or some folks don't file taxes just because they're too busy or whatever. But when it comes to your side hustle or your small business, it's a point you make a lot, which is that there are strong advantages to reporting robust sales or significant income, right?
Yes. I cannot stress. It is important for small business owners, whether you're just a small business or you're a small black business owner, to file your taxes. There are many, many small business owners who do not. And so they operate under the radar. And when an opportunity like the PPP or the EIDL comes around, guess what? They don't have any records. They don't have any records to show that they have filed their taxes, they have a bank account, their business is registered. They have no idea. Take, for instance, right now in Baltimore, with the collapse of the Baltimore Bridge, the SBA have instituted the EIDL. So if you have a business and you are in the Baltimore area, you can apply for this low interest loan, 2%, sometimes 3%, monies that you can get from the SBA. But guess what? You're not going to stand a chance if your documentation is not in order. If you do not have taxes, you do not have a bank account, you don't stand a chance.
Even folks who do cash business and they think, well, like you said, the IRS doesn't know. Even if the IRS doesn't know, you still put yourself at a disadvantage, right? Because you are not on the radar as a business. So you can't get the advantages or support that a business would get.
Yes, and that is true. You have to keep your business in compliance. And what is keeping your business in compliance? You file your taxes, file your business taxes. Make sure you have a Schedule C. Make sure you may not make any money. You may spend money. You may spend $50,000 in setting your business up. You did not make any money, but the fact that a Schedule C was prepared, you can say to the government, I did not make any money, but this is how much I spent. And you get credit for that. Or you can say, hey, I only made $10,000, but I spent $50,000.
Right. Or you can actually show a profit, and that's not a bad thing either, right?
Right. You can show a profit, but not, you did not make a large enough profit where you have to pay taxes. So there's a lot of opportunities for small business owners to look at their business and be in compliance with your filing.
Paulie in the YouTube situation wants to know how often individuals get audited by the IRS.
Well, Black people are audited more than any other group, and the IRS recognizes it. They have said that they're doing something about it. But if you are a Black business owner, chances are you're gonna get audited. And the reason for this, part of the reason for this, is that most Black businesses are sole proprietors, meaning that they file a Schedule C. And when you file a Schedule C, some people make a lot of money. Some people make $150,000. Some people make $200,000, and that is money that is going through your account and the IRS looking at that and see the transaction, the monies. You have $150,000 going into your account. That could be some of the reasons. This is why it is very important, if you have a business and you've had the business for, let's say, for over 3 or 4 years, you may want to consider having an LLC. But it is true, most small business, most Black businesses are audited by the IRS more than any other business.
Are individuals also, Black individuals also audited at higher rates?
I don't know about, yes. Black people in general are audited more than any other group.
Now, it's interesting that under the sort of Trump mentality, this new America First MAGA Confederate group, they have kind of demonized the IRS, which is funny because it was always, that was never their line. And now one of the things that the Trump regime is promising, should he get reelected, is to abolish the IRS, which sounds good on the surface, right? It sounds good on the surface. But, of course, it would never look like that because you have to have taxes to pay for roads and schools and bridges and government offices and all that stuff. So I guess that's just theater.
That's just talk. Taxes pay for roads, bridges, schools, police officers, fire. That's what our taxes are paid. That's why we pay taxes. So
right.
we could have the best roads.
And also, I mean, what they're talking about, really trying to defund, is this new pot of money that's meant for the IRS to go after rich people. That's what they're trying to defund. They're not trying to defund the IRS going after you and me. But that said, the IRS doesn't play. So this idea that if they haven't caught me yet, or if they haven't called me yet, or they haven't busted me out for this little cash flow that I'm not reporting, then I should be okay. It's just not a good strategy.
I agree with you. So this is why I say to everyone, be in compliance. You know, part of the American system is taxes. You have to pay taxes. And your best bet is to go ahead and be in compliance. I see the IRS have started sending letters out to taxpayers, letting them know that during the pandemic, the IRS was not sending collection letters out. But now the IRS, they started sending these collection letters out. So if you owe the government and you have not gotten a letter in like 5 years or 3 years, they have started.
They're
restarted
back.
sending letters out, warning you that this is how much you owe, and they intend to collect. And they have outside agencies that are collecting for the IRS. So they're out there. So if you owe, you're going to be getting a letter at some point from the IRS.
All right, we'll find out. We'll talk to Marie Deary about, what we can do to maybe avoid getting audited other than don't be black. And if you have questions or conversation, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. I'm seeing here in the news huge lines outside of IRS offices in Houston, Atlanta, and Detroit. People trying to get help at the last minute and finding a backup. Imagine how that goes if Trump defunds going after rich people part of the IRS, which is really the only part he wants to defund. 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
There are many healthcare organizations serving our community. Not all are dedicated to community partnerships that educate, build trust, inspire hope, and improve outcomes. Providence has a robust community outreach program and has dedicated $50 million over the next 5 years to support organizations addressing health disparities in local communities of color. Examples of this commitment include the Biddy Mason Community Wellness Center on the First AME campus, providing medical screenings, mental health therapy, nutrition, and culturally sensitive holistic classes. The Black Mamas Glow and Peer Support Group that focuses on maternal mental health, birth planning, and social support. Providence is committed to building trusted partnerships with community organizations to better understand and dismantle structural, racial, and cultural barriers to better health. During Minority Health Month, Providence is sponsoring Health for a Better World. Informative conversations with Providence health professionals on Urban Family Focus every Saturday in April at 7 a.m. To find a Providence Health System facility near you, log on to providence.org.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had Leaf Filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Without the ones like you who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
These statements
Statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up? I'm tired of feeling so bloated.
That used to be me. Then I got this.
Align Bloating Relief plus food digestion. A probiotic, right?
Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align Bloating Relief plus food digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Learn more at alignprobiotics.com.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Heard any other talk radio lately that sounds anything like this? We didn't think so. You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive, KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, so we actually are in the speed round now, Marie Deary, on tax day. Let's see, I was just reading about what can trigger an audit. I've been audited once, and then I was married to someone who was audited, and it's not fun. So it said unusual things, that is, so-called abnormal things will trigger an audit.
One of the things that can trigger an audit is you claiming excessive deductions on your Schedule C. You're claiming excessive, you have unusual errors. These are things that can trigger an audit. But especially, take for instance, if you have a home office, that can trigger an audit. If you have, if you're spending a lot of money on like travel or meals, so it all depends on how the excessive deductions that are taken.
Okay, let's see. Kwamel says he just began a payment plan for last year's taxes. Would that necessarily make the IRS look at past years? And Kwamel, you're right. You did report the OJ, the murder of OJ. My phone was, his death. My phone was blowing up at that point. So would that, if he's in a payment plan, will that make them review his past years?
Not necessarily. They may or may not. Some people believe that once you're audited, you will always be audited. It's excessive. The excessive deductions.
Right.
That.
Okay, got a bunch of questions here, so I'm rushing you a little bit.
Okay.
Sister Marie Deary, if our taxes are due now, where can we get an extension letter? Does it have to be dated and postmarked today? Can someone come to you for an extension? Just asking. That's
yes.
Molly Bell.
You can just call the office, and we will file an extension. It's electronically. The IRS don't like anymore to receive mail. It takes a very long time to process. So if you need an extension, you can just call the office and we can file an extension on your behalf.
That's 562. I almost have it memorized. 427 8877.
That's correct. 562-427-8877.
B. Bell of Bad Dog Bullies wants to know, do people on Social Security disability as their sole income need to file?
Now, if you're just receiving Social Security, you may not have a requirement to file. But if you are receiving Social Security plus some other type of retirement monies, maybe you have an obligation to file. But if you are just receiving Social Security, chances are you do not have a requirement to file.
Okay, where would she check or he check? He check.
Well, you can check in with the IRS. But if it's for today, you may just want to go ahead and file an extension anyway and deal with the IRS later.
The forensic accountant says earned income tax credit related audits are common. I did read that they were like 5 times more likely to be audited, that the IRS commonly audits people making under 25 grand and over 500 grand, the most commonly. And they also say be careful claiming other people's kids or even claiming your own kid if the other parent is claiming them, right?
Yes. If someone else has claimed your kid, when you try to electronically file your taxes is going to be rejected because someone already claimed the person that you are claiming. So that is very common for someone to try to claim someone else's kid. That's very common, and the IRS picks up on that very easily.
A lot of times you talk about people going back and revising their taxes. Why would we do that?
Yes. So let's assume you file your taxes in 2000, and you realize that you end up owing the government, let's say you owe $3,000 or you owe $2,000, whatever the amount is, but for some reason, whoever did your taxes did not deduct some of the things that were legitimate deductions. You can go back and amend your taxes. So that's a right that you have as a taxpayer. You can amend whatever tax, whatever year. So take, for instance, you can go back and amend taxes that were filed 5 years ago or taxes that were filed 3 years ago. You can go back and amend them. So take, for instance, if you filed a Schedule C and there are deductions that you miss, you can go back and amend those taxes and claim those deductions. And it can benefit you because it may end up that you do not owe the money that you were paying on, and it worked in your favor.
Well, we only have less than a minute left, Marie. What do you want to leave us with?
This is tax day, and there are millions of people around the country. If you happen to be one of those people, you have options. It's not too late, so do not panic. You can bring your taxes into my office or call my office or file an extension. But do not panic because you have time. You have until midnight tonight to file your taxes. And I say if you can file, file. If you really do not have the documents together, file an extension. But it does not cost you.
All right, we're talking to Marie Deary, and it's been a pleasure, even talking taxes. Wealthmanagementlb.com, wealthmanagementlb.com, or 562-427-8877. Thank you, Marie.
Thank you, Dominique.
I'm going to quote a little Susie Orman. You know I never quote her, but the quote is, people first, then money, then things. I love that. People first, then money, then things. Even coming from a financial advisor. Don't panic. You are going to be all right, and your health is more important than stressing out about anything. Tavis Smiley's up next. He's got a great show for you. I'm Dominique DiPrima. History is now, and we are making it together. Until tomorrow, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica,